When Lewis Hamilton walked through the gates of Maranello for the first time in January 2025, grown men in the factory were in tears. Ferrari fans around the world genuinely believed the prophecy had been fulfilled. The greatest driver of all time and the most iconic car in motorsport. It was supposed to be a fairy tale. 12 months later, Hamilton sat alone in his car after qualifying last in Abu Dhabi and told his team he was throwing his phone in the bin and disappearing. Nobody would be able to reach him. The fairy tale had become a nightmare. But what happened during that silence, during those weeks when nobody could find Lewis Hamilton, is the real story. Because the man who emerged on the other side just told the entire world he is not going anywhere. And Ferrari's new car has his fingerprints all over it. Let's break down exactly what happened, what changed, and why some of the smartest people in Formula One believe we are about to witness something historic. To understand why Hamilton's Instagram confession on February 21st hit so hard, you first have to understand what 2025 actually looked like from inside that Ferrari cockpit. Because the numbers are worse than you think. Lewis Hamilton, the driver with 105 Grand Prix victories, the man who has stood on a Formula One podium more than any human being in history, went an entire season without a single podium finish. Not one. His best results across 24 races were 4 separate fourth-place finishes at Imola, Austria, Silverstone, and Austin. His only victory of any kind was a sprint race win in China, and even that came with an asterisk, because he was disqualified from the Grand Prix itself over plankwear violations. The qualifying battle against Charles Leclerc was brutal, 19-5 in Leclerc's favor, with an average gap of 0.254 seconds. In Formula One, that is not a gap you can explain away with bad luck or setup differences. That is a structural deficit. Leclerc scored all 7 of Ferrari's podiums. Hamilton scored 0. The points gap at the end of the season was 86 in Leclerc's favor, 242 to 156. But it was the final 3 races that truly defined how bad things had gotten. Hamilton suffered 3 consecutive Q1 eliminations in Las Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. He became the first full-time Ferrari driver in history to endure a streak like that. In Vegas, he qualified dead last after clipping a bollard in wet conditions. In Abu Dhabi, the same story. For context, the last time a Ferrari driver completed an entire season without a podium was Didier Pironi in 1981. That was 44 years ago, and Hamilton knew exactly how bad it was. His radio messages and post-race interviews became progressively darker as the season wore on. After qualifying 12th in Hungary, while Leclerc took pole position, Hamilton said on the radio, "I'm useless. Absolutely useless. The team have no problem. You've seen the car is on pole. They probably need to change the driver." In Brazil, he called the situation a nightmare he had been living for a while. And in Las Vegas, after qualifying last, he said flatly, "It's been the worst season ever. No matter how much I try, it keeps getting worse." Now, here's the part that matters for the 2026 story. Because Hamilton's struggles were not simply about a driver losing his edge. The problems were structural. And understanding them is the key to understanding why everything is about to change. Ferrari designed the SF25 without a single piece of Hamilton's input. He inherited a car built entirely around the driving preferences of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. The car had fundamental plankwear and ride height issues that took a third of the season to even partially address. Hamilton was simultaneously adapting to new brake suppliers after 20 years with one manufacturer, entirely new software systems, a new race engineer in Riccardo Adami, and a team culture that operated nothing like the Mercedes environment he had spent 12 years inside. And then Ferrari made a decision that effectively sealed Hamilton's 2025 fate. By April, the team abandoned all development on the SF25 to redirect every resource toward the 2026 regulations car. That meant Hamilton was stuck in a fundamentally flawed machine for the remaining 8 months of the season, with 0 upgrades coming. Team principal Frédéric Vasseur later admitted he personally underestimated the scale of the transition. Every single software system was different. Every single component was different. The people around Hamilton were all different. So when the retirement calls started, they were loud, and they came from everywhere. Ralf Schumacher publicly urged Ferrari to replace Hamilton with Oliver Bearman, declaring that Lewis needed to take a good look at himself. Bernie Ecclestone argued it was time for Hamilton to walk away entirely. Nico Rosberg, Hamilton's former teammate turned Sky Sports pundit, discussed the possibility openly while acknowledging that quitting after 1 year would be a massive loss of face. Ferrari chairman John Elkann made a public statement telling drivers to focus on driving and talk less. which was widely read as a direct rebuke of Hamilton's increasingly negative comments. And then came the annual vote where Formula One team principals ranked the top 10 drivers of the season. For the first time since the poll began, Lewis Hamilton was not on the list. The 7-time world champion was not considered a top 10 driver by the people running the sport. To add one final insult, Mercedes rookie Kimi Antonelli finished just 6 points behind Hamilton, with 3 podiums in his debut season. A teenager in his first year nearly outscored a 7-time champion. Even Ferrari's own Marc Genet said Hamilton is now at ease in the car, while former driver Ivan Capelli noted that Hamilton wants to put his bitter memories of the ground effect cars in a drawer and start a season where he gets back to being competitive. What is fascinating is the near unanimity of the expert opinion. It is not just Hamilton's allies making these claims. Current competitors, former rivals, and independent analysts are all arriving at the same conclusion. The 22.6 regulations were practically designed to give Hamilton's career a second life. And then there is the Domenicali confirmation, which is perhaps the most quietly significant data point of all. Stefano Domenicali is the CEO of Formula One and a former Ferrari team principal. He knows the politics of Maranello better than almost anyone alive. During a Sky Sports Italy interview at the Bahrain test, Domenicali revealed that he had spoken directly with both Ferrari drivers. He told Sky Sports that talking to Charles and Lewis, they are confident as we should be. He added that what they had seen in the first few days of testing certainly seemed to indicate a much more competitive starting point than last year, and that he could see the right level of concentration from both drivers. Domenicali does not make statements like that carelessly. When the CEO of the entire sport, a man with decades of Ferrari insider knowledge, confirms that both Hamilton and Leclerc told him personally that they are confident, that carries weight that goes beyond typical preseason optimism. Hamilton himself reinforced this during the Bahrain press conferences. He said his belief in the team is still absolutely the same, 100% faith in what they are capable of. He said that is why he joined and why he signed a longer deal. He knew it was not going to be an overnight thing where they had immediate success, and that more often than not, it is a process. 3 days later, he posted those 5 words on Instagram. I forgot who I was. The full post was a love letter to the engineering process and a warning shot to the grid. Hamilton wrote that he was reset and refreshed, that he was not going anywhere, and that thanks to the support of his fans, nobody was going to see that 2005 mindset again. He said he knows what needs to be done, and he ended with a promise. This is going to be one hell of a season. So where does all of this leave us heading into 2026? The Hamilton who posted that confession is materially different from the one who qualified last in Las Vegas 3 months earlier. And the changes are not merely emotional, they are structural. A new race engineer, a new management setup, a car built with 8 to 10 months of his direct simulator input, regulations that reward his natural driving style for the first time since 2001, a power unit that his personal feedback helped shape, and a winter spent rebuilding both his body and his mind from the ground up. The question is no longer whether Lewis Hamilton has the hunger,